Oh, crap. Okay. Hello. Uh, how is everyone today? It's 11:37 a.m. here in beautiful, not snowy Minneapolis. Said it was going to snow. Snow seemed to have gone south, so no snow. Oh God, I can hear myself twice. We must end this immediately. Um, so can patronizers get a lumpy emote, please? Man, I wish that I could do that. I would have to be partnered via Twitch to get custom emotes. But if that ever happens, you bet your hockey sticks that a lumpy emote will be first on the docket. How did the Switch illustration turn out? It's still in progress. I did a little more work on it last night. Mostly working on the worked on all of the stuff around it, in it, all the the Splatoon level stuff, and at the end of it, figured out that this is kind of how I want to handle the color. So keep the color in the screen, which makes it similar to the other two in this series that I've already made. But it's just treating the screen a little differently since it breaks this other plane. Yeah, so I think this is how I'm going to handle the color. But it's going to be all splattery paint and stuff. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. But I might work on that this afternoon. Feeling smart and attractive. Good. You should be feeling smart and attractive. I have to update that because I've had 2 more Patreon people since I made that, which is wonderful. So this morning we're going to work on. Thanks, Helvetica Hero. We're going to work on some character design stuff that Lunar Saloon has been doing with Identity Visuals for an upcoming iOS game called Bouncy Smash. You can see here we've already tackled, let's see, how many is this? 4, 8, 12, 16 enemies. Some of these enemies have different states. I would say the most interesting and challenging aspect of this design work has been that communicating roughly what an enemy does, and coming up with a visual system that communicates that, and is versatile enough to communicate a variety of actions, and finding colors for all these damn things. There are a lot of things, and so you can see here some of these enemies have different states. Identity Visuals does a lot of animation work, so they're going to handle the animation. They already made this backgrounds, and so they kind of had that general saturated, gradient heavy aesthetic, which has been kind of a similar thing that I've been exploring recently. So it's these are 2 aesthetics just kind of did this. It made a quilt of gradients. So I mean, we have all sorts of enemies here. You have enemies that take 3 hits to kill. So any enemies that take additional hits have the shield around them. Common design language shared with all of these is glowy white means bad. So you have this switcher enemy over here that doesn't just have the shield. They actually have a glowing barrier that hurts you when you hit it. And when they switch to the other state, then their eye glows like all the other enemies, and there's no barrier, so you can hit it. I like the teleporters a lot. They're kind of designed so that they have a hole in their eye is like a hole. and there's this little light that kind of sits inside there, and they'll teleport from left to right, and depending on which way they teleport. Thanks for the. Oh, let's see. Yes, thanks Cortez for hosting. Depending on which way they teleport, that little ball will go out to the left or right and make that. It probably won't make that sound. It's like the sounds that the Nazi archaeologist makes at the beginning of Indiana Jones when he's telling the indigenous people to kill Indy. He goes like, I always liked that when I was a kid. Already getting off track. Good. But yeah, so this is a good range. Some color decisions that were made in making all of these were kind of standard enemies are purple. They don't really do anything special. Any movement-based enemies are green. So jumpers, random things that jump at random heights, so their eyes are all crazy. Homing, they follow you around. Flying saucers can just kind of fly around. Everything bounces in this game, hence the name Bouncy Smash. And then you have throwers that throw projectiles at you in arcs, so because they're affected by gravity, the projectiles. So to communicate that, you kind of have an arc of eyes there. Lasers, they shoot lasers at you. And so, like, this is pretty subtle, but I put this little horizontal bar there. Kamikaze, it's a skull, man, because it's gonna kill you. Splitters have this split down their head that all the others don't do. And then when it splits up after you hit it, it splits into these two little guys, each with one eye versus the big dude's two eyes. Yeah, so, and the gravity well is like a weird surreal thing. It'll have these little balls that will like whoosh, constantly like appear and get sucked into that middle section. So yeah, so most, if not all the work is done on these bad guys. And so now we're kind of switching gears and getting into the good guys. 5 heroes that you can play as. I believe initially the game is only going to be out on iOS. That is my understanding. But there's plenty in life that I understand poorly or incorrectly. All right, so these guys just have these like glowing dead eyes because they're robots. And these guys are very happy. Look at how happy he is. Even the guy with just one eye is very happy. So with these, to kind of like counteract the enemies, enemies have like a lot of like sharper edges and stuff. And so with these dudes, there's a lot more like soft shapes in here. You have the like subtle arc of the eyes, the roundness as it like curves into these vertical lines, so on and so forth. Just designed to be much more soft. But this is weird where a lot of, let's see, well, you can just see I'm not sure, like, there haven't been headaches. It's just when your character design is confined to a circle, that's a very limited like canvas to work in. And we've kind of already established like a basic visual style with these guys, which is, you know, there are some elements that address that they're a circle, like this break here. But a lot of them are just like flat lines, like across the front of the shapes. You know, if they were completely accurate, there would be some curvature there. But we're relying on the gradients to communicate that curvature, not the lines in the circle. And over here, like, you have like Goggles Guy. I like Goggles Guy. He's super stoked. But you know, you have to add elements to these characters to give them some personality. Big guy's a little easier because there's more canvas there to work with, just because he's a bigger circle. But like this dude that has more health than the starter. You know, we talked about using helmets to kind of show that additional health. But fitting a helmet when you have this bottom part is already... Whoa, that was weird. Can you all see this? What is my cursor doing? Anyway, when you already have a split down here, and then you're trying to fit a helmet on there and eyeballs, it gets to be a lot. The latest stuff that I sent over, Zach Dixon, who pops in chat every once in a while, Zach had some feedback that was, he liked this like kind of like Roman Magneto helmet on this guy, and he suggested trying to marry that idea with this approach, which looks terrible, but lowering those eyes gives you a little more play space above to communicate the fact that that's a helmet. So I think we're going to try that first here. Let's see, I'll just go ahead and save this doc with today's date on it. And so that was one piece of advice and feedback, and we're also trying to nail down the like final guy that's supposed to be like the most badass of all the heroes, right? And I was playing with this idea of him having like a VR, like augmented reality holo display here. But it's hard to read, like, you know, it might be a little easier if you could like have it sit like a shield that, you know, breaks that circle and communicate that it's like wrapping around the character. But because you're limited to that circle, it can get really busy and it's hard to communicate what it is. So Zach suggested war paint. Some stuff we already tried was this eye patch, sunglasses, which didn't really work. So this guy is kind of a big question mark still. Thanks, Fatty Lumps. Thanks, Cortez. And Jake Williams. Let's see. You all say very nice things, and I'm flattered and appreciative. All right, so let's start with Magneto helmet guy. And the colors are also up in the air for these guys. There's a lot that's up in the air. As you can see, I have a few things happening here to create. I have this overlay layer, it's just a gradient, and then this layer, which is also an overlay. So I have two overlays there. Am I supposed to have two overlays there? If they're the same thing, why doesn't this overlay just have a stronger opacity? Yeah, there's some like cleanup like that I need to do on these, because I just kind of like mashed up a lot of effects to try to get the like saturation and contrast that I wanted. But I think part of finishing all of these is going to be able to figure out how to achieve that same look with less layers. So instead of having 2 layers here, just having 1. Stuff like that. Coffee. Okay, so we're going to take this eyeless nightmare here with a lower mouth. I'll just copy. So what time is it for everyone? I know some of you are on West Coast time. Some of you are in the same time zone as me. Some of you are in other countries. I'm kind of always curious to know what time it is for everyone when we do these streams. Future time does win. You're all on the East Coast. 9 p.m. Whoa, look at this guy. It's so late. Or look at this girl. I don't know. Let's see, I can just copy this eye over here. I think hopefully this doesn't mess with the pupil. The thing with pupils is it's really easy to make them look like dumb if they're in the wrong spot. The characters will look cross-eyed or look like they have a lazy eye or anything like that. Something like that. Let's see. So so this is okay, so let's see what happens if I get rid of that part of the mask and just have it lower. Is it pizza roll time, eggs? I guess it is almost lunchtime. Well, I had some, what did I have? What were they? Raisin Bran Crunch Apple Strawberry cereal this morning. It was really good. So if you're like an old man that also likes Raisin Bran Crunch cereal, I would highly recommend the apple strawberry variety. Let's see, can I make the... Also, why am I doing this all on the wrong colored guy? Are mattresses here? I'm not gonna open my Casper mattress in the office. That seems ill-advised. So I wonder if you bring down this middle. Oh, okay. Thanks, Pete. That's invaluable. Yeah, we would wait to open it tonight and then be like, oh, I guess we can't sleep on it. Let's see, does that piece... I can make a YouTube unboxing video. Oh, here's a cool thing that Illustrator does now. See, I have these two corners selected to round, but when I round them, it randomly decides to do something with this corner too, and I can't. This is a problem that I keep running into, and I'm not sure what the issue is. Let's see. But I do like the Magneto-esque thing. God, what the... What's the deal? Let's see, let's just copy that. Don't worry, there's little like wrong gaps here and stuff. Like this is all just rough. So I just copied that section and made it its own thing. And we'll round it independently. You had to sleep on a squishy Lisa. Well, I hope it was good for Lisa. Squishy Lisa. Oh, man. Everyone should have a descriptor attached to their name like that. People can introduce themselves as, "Hi, I'm Stupid Alex. Hi, I'm Squishy Lisa." God, look, it does it again. What a garbage program. Okay. Well, there's no like end baddie in this game. It's more of like an arcade game. So think of it as like something like Robotron, whereas these are all the enemies that you fight, and it doesn't like culminate in like a final dramatic battle, you know? Megs, did our mattress come? Was that what it was? Is the UPS guy still there? Okay, the other thing that Zach mentioned in his feedback on this stuff was that these eyes feel a little cramped in the big guy. And I agree, so... not that it's necessary for me to agree with my client's feedback. But it helps. So I'm going to try to make these things a little bigger. And you can actually drop them down. Like, I think like kind of the more askew they are, maybe the slightly funnier it is. And I think that they're going to take this stuff and they are going to make it like these elements to like bounce around and stuff. Like there's going to be a lot of nice little animation work that they'll do. They did something that maybe a lot of you have seen recently. The that announcement teaser for J.J. Abrams and Stephen King's Castle Rock show. They're going to, or they did, a really great trailer for that. Let me find. I'll just link it. I mean, the mouth, no, but it's kind of funny. Like, look how stupid it looks when it's outside of it, right? It looks dumb. And I just think it's kind of funny. And you would have a mouth inside the goggles. It's really stupid. It's my kind of stupid. It looks much less cramped, I think. God, Migs, what are you doing in there? Big guy. Okay, so big guy's working. This guy still just a giant question mark. He is the same size as the starter, but Zach threw out the idea of war paint with him. I'm trying to figure out how you could do war paint. So another thing that I'd sketch for this guy, if you want to have like some sort of like VR display thing, was to not make it go over his whole face, just have it go over like an eye. But then I feel like it might just look like a douchey Google Glass thing, right? I was living out there in San Francisco when everyone was wearing these things, and they made me die inside. I think it'd have to be bigger to give his mouth, like, or to give his eye more. Oh, it's just for, this is, it's mostly for my reference, but I also include it in the images and stuff that I send to them. I just copied all of their text for these characters, like the brief descriptors, just so we could keep it all straight. The eyes and mouth are not inspired by Lumpy, but I wouldn't be surprised if at this point, over a year of looking at and laughing at Lumpy has rubbed off on some of my work. At one point, I also had the really dumb joke of the small guy having an eye patch on. But he didn't, with no other eye to like, to understand. There was nothing to help understand that it was an eye patch. It just looked really stupid. But it made me laugh. The idea of something with one eye having an eye patch on. But thank you for looking out for typos. I lead a life riddled by typos. One goggle. Pretty funny. He's also tough. Like, that's why one of the reasons why I thought that he might just have one eye is because him being like a much smaller character than this dude. Fitting two eyes on there is a lot of work. It's just they would just have to get they clumped up or really small. And that's why all of the smaller characters, like this robot and the splitter robot, has one eye when it's small. They don't have names. They should have names. Sorry, sometimes I get distracted by things on my second monitor. I was looking at this trailer for a game called Hollow Knight, which looks really cool. Looks really cool, you all. Yeah, those ghosts in the foreground give those scenes a lot of depth, which is really nice. Okay, so the trick is this going to read as a helmet? I don't know. I don't think it can be the same color as... Can it? I don't know. For some reason, I think the nib on my pen is loose or something, because it thinks that it is double clicking stuff, and I don't mean to double click things, so I'm not sure what the deal is. What's the deal? Whoa. What the what? What the what? Okay. What the butt? He almost looks like a ninja. Is there any way to make that read as a helmet? Roman helmet. Can't give him a mohawk, as sweet as that would be, because it would break the plane. Let's see, do they have any? I mean, they have like a nose guard thing, but bringing this thing down too much. It just starts to interfere with the mouth. I mean, maybe it can come all the way down and he just doesn't have a mouth? Oof, excuse me. I don't know if I buy that. Hey, the pants are how I think of them too. I'm so glad to hear you say pants. Hi, Seekage. Wave. None of them do wear overalls, but where would the overalls go? Go like over their whole body? It makes me laugh, but it's too stupid. Oh, man. If you take the back of the tablet off, there's pin nibs back there. So I have this like little like pin holder thing. A pin holder thing, that's the technical term for it. It's this guy. And like you can like twist it and it has a bunch of pin nibs in there. It also has like a little, see, look at that. It's like some kind of like hidden James Bond thing. Dude. I actually, every time I open it, think of like the like shaving cream container that Dennis Nedry has and thing. And it has this little like handy tool that like pinches together. You see it open and close in there for like pulling the nib out of the thing. So let's try replacing a nib. Your Huion, how do you say that? A Huion? I've been looking at those because just more and more, like, I'm just kind of less happy with my big Wacom tablet. I like the small one. The draw is great, but the big one, I don't know, I'll use something to be desired. There's a lot of connection issues with it. Like sometimes it just won't register. The software for it is a nightmare. Like I have to keep using a version from like 2 years ago, and if I upgrade it, then it messes with all Illustrator's hotkeys and it doesn't work. All right, got a new nib in there. New nib. Got that new nib. All right. I mean, the overalls are a beautiful, horrible, nightmare version of what could have been. It's just so weird. And I love them. I love them. Oh, that reminds me. I found in an old file. Let's see. It was a Game Gear. It was the Game Gear. I was looking and I like zoomed out to see what was in this document. There's this shitty drawing of Lumpy as Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, and it just brought me such joy. It's really good. We've made some really good things together, everyone. Boy. It's just delightful. Oh God, it's gonna do this thing. Okay. One strap. Andre the Giant. The strap would be like, have to be like at a diagonal, right? It's so ridiculous. So where are these hidden pin nibs? Let's see, that's I think where the battery goes if I want it to be wireless, but I don't, because I don't trust that. Oh God, no, I can't get this panel back on. You've tricked me. You've tricked me into sabotaging myself. Okay. Oh God, no, that's where the battery goes. I don't see any nibs. I don't think I have any nibs hidden in mine. It's an Intuos Pro medium. Yeah, mine are all in my pin holder. I didn't break anything, Megs. I didn't spill anything on anything. Everything's fine. It's all fine. Okay, so if I want to do this... Misfit Max, you're the real MVP. You have everyone now has more pin nibs than they did when they started watching the stream, and that's all thanks to you. Nib City sounds kind of weird. Maybe it's because it sounds really close to Nip City, which sounds like a weird nip slip porn site from 1997. Sorry, I should rate this stream for mature audiences only. My apologies. Oh my god. I don't think the eye positioning is like the up here. I don't think it's quite right. Nip City. Okay, I think if this curve can follow the curve of the eyes perfectly, it'd be great. Are you the one? Yes, I'm the one. Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. So yes, I am the one. Let's take this and offset path, object path. Offset. I really enjoy when I get to work on client stuff on the stream. Because I feel like that's the thing that's missing from a lot of creative streams is that they only work on their own projects. I mean, myself included. I'm including myself in this. And that is not what design often is, or illustration. You are working in collaboration with someone else. And so working just on your own stuff isn't representative of what the design or creative process is like most of the time. So I always like when I can work on client stuff on the stream. Oh, well, that just looks lovely. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, there's some old versions where it went down over his eyes and he just looks kind of stupid, doesn't he? He just looks kind of a dummy. But I had the same thought once. Oh, it'll make him look like a badass. I think it would. I think for it to make him look like a badass, you would have to take these and, yeah, see. If you angle them down, then he'll look a little more badass. But he still looks twerpy with a big smile, shit-eating smile on his face. Object path, offset path. An uneducated badass. Indeed, a badass nonetheless. Let's see, maybe this bottom part aligns with the pants. Really hoping that we can get the bottom part to align with the pants. You never know, you know, what you're going to say when you start the day's work as a designer. Oh, something Patreon related. So I wrote a post about this yesterday, and that Patreon collects pledges at the first of every month. So anyone that's contributing now, let's see, Patreon. Anyone that's contributing now, your pledges will not be collected until March 1st. And so it's like an awkward time right now because I can put stuff out. I can put out rewards and stuff. But I don't know if anyone's payments are going to go through yet. So it's tough to do. So what I'm going to do is one of the $5 reward tier grants you access to an archive of all the streams. And so what I'm going to do is, because it's on a month-by-month basis, I'll make unlisted YouTube playlist every month of that month's streams. So, and send out those links on the first of every month. So you will have access to all of the streams from February on March 1st. That's how that's going to work. And I've been deleting past videos on Twitch as soon as they're uploaded to YouTube so that non-Patreons are not getting access to those things. I'm on top of it. I got your back. Making sure you get your money's worth. Let's see. What percentage? No, it doesn't take 30%. Jessica, do you know how much they take? I have been unable to figure it out. It seems something along the lines of 10% maybe. But I'm not 100% on that. It seems a little less than 10%. It seems different for every pledge, and I can't figure it out. I mean, this is looking like a much better helmet than where we started with, so that's good. It's a little baby 5%. Awesome. Right. Yeah, I need to set up Stripe because Stripe takes much less than PayPal. Do I ever use After Effects? No, I've never used After Effects. It's on my list of things to learn. No, there will be no punk haircut, unfortunately, because I have to stay within the circles, so that rules that out. See, the thing is like these like little happy eyes humanize them so much compared to the robots that like even though part of me thinks like, oh, a guy with a helmet on should have an angry look on his face, I just don't know that it's right, really. The legs of a cat. Hello, zombies. We've been at it for a little while. We've been pretty focused on this character. What the hell is Illustrator doing? Usually when you hold shift and click something, it samples like the raw color data there and it won't inherit transparencies or anything like that. But it is not working like that. He just looks stoned. I mean, he just looks angry. I kind of like him having like just like a dumb blank look on his face. I gotta figure out, because helmet's too dark right now, but I have to figure out some kind of color that'll help separate it from his pants. But then if I make it too light, then it doesn't match any of the other heroes. What if I told you there is no spoons for him to bend? No, it's not a pinball game. You play as one of these guys and you bounce around. Boop, boop, bounce around. And then different enemies come in and they bounce around. And you're trying to like combo and like hit multiple enemies without touching the ground. And when you do that, you get powers and stuff like that. It's an iOS game. Well, you will get that very thing. once Identity Visuals gets their hands on them and animates them, because that is what they do. Here's the studio that'll be making with them. Excuse me. Ethno Future, thank you for the follow. Still doesn't, the contrast is not there. Green helmet is not that bad, but it doesn't really match the same hue as all the other colors that I'm using. I gotta change Nightbot's timings. All of its messages are lumped up together. It's just you end up with this like solid block of computer talking at you. How do I handle this? Oh god, he looks really creepy with no pupils. Maybe this guy has badass angry eyes, since he's supposed to be like the best character here. Like, he's the most badass character, right? So you should be afraid of him. Let's see. I've been streaming for about an hour. I think that I might take a break, check out this Casper mattress, eat lunch. That's right, Mr. Angry Eyes. Eat lunch and then come back and continue streaming. How's that sound? Does that sound good to everyone? It sounds good to me. He's just like a grizzled badass with scars and shit. Okay, you genuinely want to see the mattress. Okay. Oh man, he looks badass. Look at that little shit. He looks badass. I wouldn't want to mess with him. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. Look at that little guy. He's angry. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Let's see what this mattress situation is. So heavy. That guy could kick you in the ass. Doesn't even have feet. So that's the mattress. It's heavy as shit. The cat's interested in it. Where's my knife? I have another knife somewhere around here. I'll just use scissors. Oh, weird. It's a tube. It's a tube of mattress. It's so heavy. I can't carry it. I'm a baby designer man. I can't pick that up.
Turn it on its side and then pick up the box.
I'm gonna turn.
The box.
Rocco, don't go in there.
Come here.
You stupid animal.
Are you gonna knock everything when it unrolls?
No, because it's like wrapped up in plastic. Here you go. You wanted to know. Now you know what. It looks like a tube.
Where are you gonna put it?
I'm not gonna unwrap it in here. These guys are crazy if they think I'm gonna do that. Well, we can go cut it open and open it in the bathroom. But I mean, I don't know what else you want from me. It's a tube. So I guess you cut that sucker open and it's just gonna flip. It's a cylinder. That's a better. It looks like a giant roll of toilet paper that's almost gone. It's a thin roll of toilet paper. Okay. We'll be back. We'll be back. I'll be back, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, or something like that. If you want, you can just leave the window open, and then you'll know when I'm back, when you hear my sultry voice surprise the shit out of you while you're sitting at your desk. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in for that hot unboxing content. We're basically YouTube now, right? We YouTubes now. Thanks, everyone. I'll be back in a bit. Bye.